Ouch! It hurts so much. My head is splitting. The bizarre dream filled with murmurs shattered instantly. Zhou Mingrui, still half asleep, clutched his throbbing head as if someone had struck him repeatedly with a blunt pole. No, it felt more like a sharp object had been driven into his temple and twisted mercilessly. Damn. Groggy and disoriented, he tried to roll over, grab his head, and sit up, but his limbs refused to obey. He lay paralyzed, helpless against the agony. I must still be dreaming. Any second now, I'll think I've woken up, only to realize I'm still trapped in sleep. Zhou Mingrui, no stranger to such disorienting episodes, fought to focus his scattered thoughts and break free from the suffocating darkness. Yet, even as he struggled, his will felt as insubstantial as mist, here one moment, gone the next. His mind refused to be tamed, slipping away into chaotic fragments of random images and thoughts. Why this sudden excruciating headache in the middle of the night? Is it a cerebral hemorrhage? Damn it! Am I about to die young like this? Wake up! Now! Huh? The pain's dulled a bit, but it still feels like a blunt knife sawing through my brain. No way I'm falling back asleep. How am I supposed to work tomorrow? Wait, why am I worrying about work? With pain like this, I should take the day off. Screw the manager's nagging. Actually, this isn't so bad. At least I'll get some unexpected free time. The relentless throbbing sharpened his focus. Finally, he mustered enough strength to wrench his eyes open, tearing himself fully from the clutches of sleep. His vision swam, tinted in a faint crimson hue. Before him stood a wooden desk, its surface dominated by an open notebook with coarse, yellowed pages. At the top, a sentence glared up at him in stark black ink. To the notebook's left sat a stack of 8 neatly arranged books. On the right wall, grayish-white pipes snaked upward to a wall lamp. A classic Western design, about half the size of a human head, its transparent glass encased in a black metal grid. Beneath the unlit lamp, bathed in the pale red glow, rested a black ink bottle adorned with an embossed, blurry angel pattern. In front of the ink bottle, to the right of the notebook, lay a dark pen with a rounded body, its nib glinting faintly. Beside it, the pen's cap set next to a brass revolver. A gun! A revolver! Zhou Mingrui's breath hitched. None of this resembled his room. His gaze darted around, realizing everything, the desk, notebook, ink bottle, even the revolver, was draped in a crimson veil from the light filtering through the window. Heart pounding, he slowly tilted his head up. Against a backdrop of black velvet-like darkness, a crimson moon hung suspended, its airy glow casting an otherworldly light. What the? A jolt of terror shot through him. He lurched upright, but before he could fully stand, his skull exploded with fresh agony. His legs gave way, sending him crashing back onto the hard wooden chair. Thud. Gritting his teeth against the pain, Zhou Mingrui braced his hands on the desk and forced himself up again, spinning around to take in his surroundings. The room was small, with a brown door on each side. Opposite him stood a wooden bunk bed. Between the bed and the left door was a cabinet, 2 open compartments on top, 5 drawers below. Near the cabinet, at shoulder height, another grayish-white pipe connected to a strange mechanical contraption, its gears and bearings partially exposed. In the right corner by the desk, kitchen supplies cluttered the space. A coal stove, soup pots, iron pans. Across from the right door, a cracked dressing mirror stood on a plain wooden base. Zhou Mingrui's reflection stared back. Black hair, brown eyes, a linen shirt clinging to a thin frame. His features were unremarkable, but his profile was sharply defined. What the hell? He sucked in a sharp breath, his mind reeling. The revolver, the antiquated Western decor, the crimson moon, nothing matched Earth's reality. Did I transmigrate? His lips parted slowly. As an avid reader of web novels, he'd fantasized about this scenario countless times, but faced with the reality, disbelief swamped him. Nearly a minute passed before he muttered darkly, "Guess this is what they call be careful what you wish for?" If not for the headache anchoring him to sharp awareness, he'd have sworn this was a dream. Calm down. Breathe. Breathe. He inhaled deeply, forcing his panic to recede. As his pulse steadied, fragmented memories surged into his mind. Klein Moretti, citizen of Tianjin City, Awa County, in the Lowen Kingdom of the Northern Continent, recent graduate from the Department of History at Koi University. His father, an Imperial Army sergeant, died in a Southern Continent colonial conflict. The compensation money funded Klein's private grammar school and later his university education. His mother, a devout follower of the Evernight goddess, passed away the year Klein entered Koi University. He has an elder brother and a younger sister. They share a 2-bedroom apartment. The family struggles financially, relying entirely on his brother's income as a clerk at an import-export company. As a history graduate, Klein studied ancient Fasak, the root language of the northern continent, and Hermes, the tongue of rituals and prayers found in ancient tombs. Hermes? Zhou Mingrui's thoughts snagged. He rubbed his temples and glanced back at the notebook. The strange script on the yellowed pages shifted before his eyes. First alien, then eerily familiar, until it resolved into legible text. It was written in Hermes. The dark ink declared, "Everyone will die, including me." Hiss! A chill clawed down his spine. He recoiled instinctively, putting distance between himself and the ominous words. His legs wobbled, and he barely caught himself on the desk's edge. The air around him seemed to vibrate with faint, ghostly whispers, like the eerie tales elders told to frighten children. Just an illusion. He shook his head, tearing his gaze from the notebook. Steadying himself, he focused on the gleaming brass revolver instead. A question struck him. With Klein's family struggling, how could they afford or even obtain a revolver? Frowning, he suddenly noticed a crimson handprint on the desk's edge, darker than the moonlight, thicker than the crimson veil. Blood. His pulse spiked. He flipped over his right hand, the one gripping the desk, and froze. His palm and fingers were smeared with fresh blood. At the same time, the throbbing in his head pulsed anew, weaker but persistent. Did I smash my head? He turned and stumbled toward the cracked mirror. A few steps later, his reflection materialized, a scholarly figure with black hair and brown eyes. Is this me now? Klein Moretti? The dim light made details hazy. He edged closer until he stood a step from the mirror, then tilted his head to examine his temple under the crimson glow. The reflection revealed a grotesque wound, burn marks framing a gash where blood had dried. Beneath the crusted red, something grayish-white pulsed faintly. Brain matter.